The Indian game begins by controlling the important e4 square with the knight, rather than a pawn. c4 builds a strong center by controlling the important d5 square and creates a square for the knight to come to c3 without blocking the c-pawn. e6 opens up a line for the dark-squared bishop and prepares to castle quickly, while preparing to push a pawn to d5 and recapture with a pawn if captured. Knight c3 develops the knight to fight for the e4 square and to control d5. In the Nimzo-Indian defense, bishop b4 pins the knight on c3, preventing it from moving or protecting e4, and threatens to trade, disrupting white's pawns after b takes c3. Knight f3 develops the knight, defends the d4 pawn, and controls the e5 square. Castling gets the king out of the center and activates the rook. This creates a pawn chain, linked pawns that form a strong structure. This prepares the bishop for development. White develops the bishop and attacks the center. This develops the bishop and gives it scope on the long diagonal. Both kings are castled and ready for the middle game. This forces the opponent to double pawns. Recaptures. This strikes at the center to fight for space. Right on target. Black develops the knight and attacks the center. A very strong play. This protects the attacked pawn. Very precise. This allows the opponent to kick a knight. This kicks a knight. This moves the knight to safety. This strikes at the center with a pawn, trying to gain space. This is the only move that works. This is an equal trade. White combines recapturing with the development of a new piece. This misses an opportunity to increase a bishop's scope by moving it to a better square. This permits the opponent to pin a knight. This is the only good move. This adds pressure by pinning a knight. This loses material. The rook was sacrificed. A stunning move. This wins material. Takes back. Recaptures. The rooks can see each other now, allowing them to provide mutual defense. This threatens to force eventual checkmate. The French defense prepares for d5, but blocks in the light-squared bishop in exchange for a strong center and counter-attacking chances. d4 grabs full control of the center and opens up the dark-squared bishop. d5 is a counterattack in the center that threatens the e4 pawn. E takes d5 is not the most ambitious plan for white against the French defense, but it does allow easy development with knight f3, bishop d3, and short castling in the near future. E takes d5 recaptures the d5 pawn and allows the light-squared bishop to develop. Knight f3 develops the knight toward the center, supports the d4 pawn, and controls the e5 square. Black develops the knight and attacks the center. This pins a knight to the king. Developing the bishop and increasing influence in the center. Castling gets the king out of the center of the board, while also developing a rook. Black develops the knight and attacks the center. This threatens to win material by trapping a piece. This stops the opponent from being able to win material by trapping a piece. There was only one good move there, and white did not spend enough time trying to find it. The knight was sacrificed, a stunning move. The rook is now on an open file, which helps control squares across the board. This loses a pawn. This misses an opportunity to win material through a tactic. Recaptures. This misses a better way to win a tempo by threatening a bishop. Castling to the same side of the board is a more cautious approach. This is an equal trade. Takes back. This activates a queen by developing it off of its starting square. This connects the rooks, which helps them work together. This overlooks an opportunity to develop. This threatens to checkmate the king. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. Recaptures. Moving the knight gives white more flexibility in the middle game. This move puts the pawn on a safer square. This protects the attacked pawn. This move puts the bishop on a safer square. This is not the right idea. This passed pawn is a strong asset for black. This blocks an attack on a rook. This is an equal trade. Takes back. Black can win material through a fork with the right follow-up from here. White's piece has moved to a square with greater activity and control. This takes an open file, a common method for activating a rook. This allows the knight to control more squares. This defends a vulnerable pawn by pinning one of its attackers. This threatens to tactically win a pawn. This wins a rook. Recaptures. One of the best moves. d5 establishes a presence in the center, controls the e4 square, and opens up the light-squared bishop. The queen's gambit offers up a wing pawn to attack the center and distract black from the e4 square. The queen's gambit accepted immediately captures the c4 pawn and forces white to prove an advantage with one less pawn. e4 takes full control of the center and allows the light-squared bishop to attack the pawn on c4. b5 defends the c4 pawn and prepares bishop b7 to target the e4 pawn. This is the only move that works. This defends the attacked pawn. Developing the knight and increasing influence in the center. This kicks a knight. This moves the knight to safety. This prepares the bishop for development. White develops the knight and attacks the center. Developing the knight and increasing influence in the center. This defends a pawn that was under attack and had no defenders. This defends the attacked pawn. This permits the opponent to kick a queen. The queen is kicked by a pawn and must now move or be captured. After a follow-up, this will win material by removing the defender. There was only one good move there, and black did not spend enough time trying to find it. This threatens to capture a pawn and win material after the follow-up trades. This stops the opponent from being able to win a queen by pinning a piece to the king. This strikes at the center to fight for space. That pawn capture will win material after all trades are complete. Right on target. Recaptures. This misses a better way to develop a bishop off its starting square. This allows the opponent to counterattack an opposing queen. This is the only move that works. This creates a counter threat against the queen, as opposed to retreating. This threatens to capture a pawn and win material after the follow-up trades. This overlooks an opportunity to reveal an attack on a bishop while also checking the king. This misses an opportunity to move a bishop to safety. This is the only good move. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. This is an equal trade. There were worse moves, but also something much better. Very precise. That rook was free for the taking. This steps away from the checking queen. One of the best moves. This defends the attacked bishop. This misses an opportunity to win material through a tactic. This misses an opportunity to prevent castling. This evades the check from the knight. This activates a piece and simultaneously wins time by attacking a queen. This is an equal trade. Takes back. A very strong play. This moves the bishop to safety. This prevents the opponent from being able to kick a bishop. This threatens to win material because the defender is pinned. White will be winning a pawn with that fork. This move puts the bishop on a safer square. That was a free pawn. This wins time by threatening a knight and forcing it to move away. This offers an equal trade of pieces. After all captures, this is an equal trade. Recaptures. This moves the rook to safety. This evades the check from the rook. This is the strongest option. White develops further. This steps away from the checking rook. This attacks a knight, winning a tempo when it moves away. This defends a knight that was under attack and had no defenders. This defends a bishop that was under attack and had no defenders. A solid choice. This evades the check from the rook. One of the best moves. This immobilizes the knight by pinning it to the king. The knight is now adequately defended. Right on target. This steps away from the checking rook. Very precise.